Hi, it's Zeesh, Visionary Life Hacks, here to connect, here to inspire, here to be the change. If you're watching the replay, welcome. If you're watching the live, welcome. If you share this, thank you for sharing. So I've said it before and I'll say it again. And by the way, sorry for not doing any lives. I've just been going through some challenges, but don't ask for less challenges, ask for more wisdom. So anyway, I've said it before and I'll say it again. No to zeolites, no to zeolites, no to ivermectin, no to C60, no to hi Tanya, no to diatomaceous earth, no to silica, no to aluminum silicate, and there's reasons for the no's, and I'll get into those in a second. No to PEMF, no to Holder-Clark Zapper, TENS machines, terahertz wearables, terahertz wands, fake digital Rife technology, EE systems, and their related items. Yes to so much. Yes to anything that you can explain to a grandmother and your child. Yes to anything that was in the 1919 family physician dispensary. Yes to turpentine, salts, chlorides, acids, fermented foods, saturated fats, essential oils, natural medicines that are safe and effective and affordable, the great in food, the great in the wild food. And the reason why no to the ivermectin, the zeolites, the digital technologies, the reducing yourself to a diagnosis is because today, think Sabrina Wallace. I don't subscribe to her, but what she's talking about with the Internet of Everything, the Internet of Nano Things, the Internet, the Wide Body Area Network, the cloud, the stupid AI made by compartmentalized retards, compartmentalized stupid science, the new religion. So, yeah, turpentine is like awesome. Turpentine is in the original literature, and your grandmother will know, like the pine as a whole is amazing, the Pinaceae family. Pine, honey, these two are like the best nature's, in my opinion, nature's multivitamins, because they got they got all your A, B, C, D, E. Forget the fake supplements. We want to get into the real nutraceuticals and the real gifts that have been given to us that are unadulterated. And yes, the bees and the pine and everything is being exposed to the nano geoengineering, but the gods or God wins. And so when we align ourselves and make an alliance with nature and the simplicity, it doesn't even matter if they're in our so-called alternative world, because just because they wear a white coat, it's still a white coat. But I'm a doctor. I'm a nano whistleblower. Keep it simple, stupid. With the nano engineering and the Internet of nano things, that's where all the money's going into, is like the hackable humans, the WEF, you shall have nothing and be happy. And so when you get into the nano scale of things, it's really important when you're getting into these nano, and with the smart dust, quantum dots, the polymers, there is a neural link, but people are like, no, I'm not going to have the neural link. But what if you're already breathing in the biosensors that are already self-assembling in your body? So then when you add in a zeolite, because most people are looking at, they're already in this psyop that they're a parasite. That's why I work with the analog acoustic technology, because the original antique analog Rife machines, multi-wave oscillators, the Tesla machines, by their very nature, they're multiple waves of oscillation. They don't reduce you to a diagnosis. And the antique Tesla machines that I work with, by their very nature, are sterilizing. The whole idea of being a parasite was promulgated by the likes of the pharmaceutical, Red Shield, and their cohorts that sought to dethrone the original terrain theory and ether-based wisdom, and to create this psyop that viruses exist. But what if viruses don't exist? But Zish, it's the flu. What if you're showing the symptoms of these things and they've just given them a label? And I always say to people, why do you listen to a compartmentalized, regurgitated idiot when everything's compartmentalized, when we don't even know what water is, we don't really know what electricity is, magnetism? When they say history is owned by the rulers, would that also mean our education? Would that also mean our healthcare system? You know, how does that translate into today when people are so used to going to see somebody else rather than empowering you to equip you with the gifts that you have within? For example, look at the benefits you can receive from Qigong or traditional Chinese medicine or traditional Ayurvedic medicine or traditional Western medicine. When the physician was a physician in the 1900s, there was no, I'm going to see an alternative practitioner. The idea of a naturopath and a chiropractor and the physician was not known for iatrogenesis, doctor-induced, because they upheld an oath. They looked at the human as a complete whole. They were like ether punks of that day. They were looking at you knowing that ether, the akasha, the ether, was a primary substance that made up the human being. They recognized you as an electromagnetic human being. They would administer homeopathy. They would administer turpentine. They would administer borax. They would administer quinine. They would administer the simple things of nature. You might need a beef stew. They were very holistic in their approach. So silica is a psyop. Zeolites is a psyop. Methylene blue is a psyop, and I'll explain again why. Diatomaceous earth, silica is a psyop. All nano products, C60, are psyops. Bring in the digital technologies, bring in these psyops, your ivermectins, the nanosilvers, put them all together in the single. Okay, I'm taking it because Dr. Robert O. Young said that Masterpiece was good. Medical Medium said that Masterpiece was good. All these different doctors, nano whistleblowers said this was good. My favorite influencer that posts the best memes, David Avocado Wolf, said this is good. For this reason. Now, these products will work, but they work, Sushi. Well, of course they're going to work. Like, if you've been eating junk food all your life, if you've been going to see a doctor and having a diagnosis all your life, and then suddenly you become part of this truther movement or this, you know, now I'm awake movement, and I've never really got that, because I think you're continuously like having your developing resilience, having your bullshit detector logic strengthened, and kind of like, you know, yeah, you can fall for something, but you might go, oh shit, now that makes sense, because you're exercising logic, you're utilizing the tools that you're equipped with and going, oh, now that makes sense. Oh, fulvic mineral, shilajit, also psyops. Then the question is, are all these things created equal? Now, someone might go, well, it's natural. Well, yes, well, arsenic's natural. That's not a good enough argument, is it? Now, what you have to do is you have to zoom out. Now, let me just say, yeah, well, sure, that thing's going to work if you're starting to clean your body out, start to clean your liver, start to drink some celery juice, maybe you've grown some celery. Sure, it's going to work because your body's starting to become clean. You're then putting in conductive elements into your body, not realizing that you're bringing in nanosynthetic particles that you can't see unless you look at them with a microscope. You're breathing it in. It's interacting with your body. You're surrounding yourself with blue light from your phone, optogenetic or opto something they call it. They do all these tests and studies on rats and stuff where they're playing with light and putting in sensors. And if you follow the timeline for the last 220 years and you look at the way military is exploring things like voice to skull and brain scans and all these different things, your 5G and all these different things, and you follow them, and then you see how these things come into the commercial world, like your drones and your what I kind of say to people, like, look at the spooky device, right? If Raymond Rife was using this amazing microscope and then he was looking at the human being as a living human being like Goethe, they were looking at you like you were living because you are living. They had these amazing microscopes. Then they were able to do different pulses and radios and sounds and signal generation and all this kind of amplification, and able to destroy like specific things related to specific words that begin with the letter C that you can't really talk about, even like the letter P you can't really talk about, but they were proving back then that you could destroy these things. They're taken to the cleaners, they slip on a bar of soap, happened to Reich, happened to Tesla, happened to all the great human beings of that time that wanted to not cure, not heal, but wanted to explore how certain things would respond to certain life frequencies, and we're actually seeing that it was working. So then they have all their patents stolen. We're under the banner of the Western civilization. Slowly, as the globalists entrench themselves since World War I, World War II, entrench themselves in your food, entrench themselves in your medicine, entrench themselves in the technology, entrench themselves in your ideas, entrench themselves with the taxes and sending your wives to work so that they can take your children younger and put them into school and mould them and make them into servants, and can tax your wives. And as they slowly start to then bring in, because they've removed these stuff, haven't they? They've removed it. They've gone, right, well, this is quackery. Rife is quackery. Tesla is quackery. Udin's quackery. It's all quackery. And then slowly, as they're destroying Western civilization through globalist ideas, then comes in the Hindu, then comes in the New Age, then comes in the yoga, then comes in all these. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with yoga and vegetarian if you're living in Ayurvedic land, but look at how the Ayurvedic people live. Like they have to, you know, I'm born into slavery. I'm born into these different caste systems. So, you know, it works in India, but then it starts to come over here. Then you get the fake technologies come back, fake Rife machine, fake technologies. And in amongst it, in the 1950s, they start to geoengineer us. So you start to see the military industrial complex bringing in all this technology. Then it's coming commercial. Then it's being sold to you. So whatever's coming in from the military, and then you look at what they were doing in Vietnam War. You look at the propaganda machine 220 years ago with the printing press, with the radio, with the television, now with the digital. You look at all those little psyops going on, then you know there's an internet of everything, then you know there's an internet of nano things, then you know they're doing geoengineering, then they're bringing out 5G, 6G, 7G, which has nothing to do with generation, that has everything to do with weapon grade, voice to skull, kind of like, and then you're bringing in these supplements, and then you're putting in a smart meter in your house, and then you're wearing recycled plastic clothing, and then you're washing your hair and your clothes with recycled plastic. Not all of you, I'm saying most people. Then they're eating foods with GMOs. Then they break free. Then they go and take that so-called health supplements from the people that they think are for them, but then they're putting in the health supplements that are also pharmaceuticals, like your Masterpiece and your methylene blues that come from argyfarben, that come from World War II. They're putting those into their body because they think they're healing themselves. And then they go vegan because that's a psyop, and then because they want to save the planet. And then they're putting all that into their body, and then they're taking the shilajit, they're taking the fulvic minerals, they're taking the diatomaceous earth, they're taking silica in their toothpaste, they're becoming conductors, they think they're evolving into 5D. And so if you're not factoring in the Internet of Everything, like zooming out, looking at the mass terrain on how we're now in a transhumanistic, hackable human mindset, where they want to control you through the algorithm, you're missing a whole bigger picture. You have to zoom out and look at the all of everything and think, well, how does this zeolite, okay, they're saying it's working, but what if it's going into my body doesn't recognize it, where's it going to put it? It has to store it somewhere. Where's it going to store it? It's going to store it in fat, the brain. It's going to store it in your body. It's going to store it in, and then also you're coming in going, I'm now using my fake Rife machine, which is fake. They shouldn't even be called Rife machines. They're fake technology. They should be analog. They're using that on their bodies. They don't realize they're using their Holder Clark zappers. They're using their terahertz watch, using their terahertz wearables. They're using all these different things, not knowing that they're actually aiding in the self-assembly of synthetic nanotechnology. Oh, and also, to add insult to injury, they unleashed a gene editing software that is self-assembling on the human population. And then there's all these talks about shedding. You don't even know now what's in the geoengineering. We've gone beyond all that. So the simple, but I focus on solutions. So this is why I wanted to do this quick little presentation. Oh, hi, I used to have a friend who, yeah, we've done the turpentine. Hi, Tanya. Yes, so things like turpentine, pine. So I'm into how am I to remain human? How am I to disengage? And how am I to focus on all the things A to Z of pathology, but also factoring in the synthetic biology. We've got to factor that in. The digital ID is neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. Did you not know already that you are the digital ID? They already have uploaded you to the cloud. People are falling for that's not the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is the fact that they're geoengineering the countries that's governments are under this. Just look outside and look at your skies. You don't see as many little fluffy clouds as you used to, and most people are on phone. And I think it's a lot more simpler than we realise. So, like, get your hands in the soil. But the soil's full of nano. Yeah, it is, but it doesn't matter. You still got to get your hands in the soil, connect to nature, do your qigong, do your tai chi, learn about the analog technology, get right with your food supply, get right with the natural medicines, and also get right with your mindset, the great ideas, and just do the very best that you can to be in the sun, be in the nature, grow your own food, and keep it simple, stupid, because it ain't so smart. It's really, really simple when you get used to it. It's all predicated on these phones and these technologies, but if you're disengaging it and learning about salts, chlorides, acids, and things like that, and building yourself an anti-nano triangle, and learning about my Tesla machines, these, which I sell and ship globally, here and here. I'm getting this ready now to ship to Australia. So you learn about these technologies. I wasn't really looking to sell them, but it is something that's kind of happened organically. It's a kind of like side hustle hobby thing that I kind of do. And I like surrounding myself. I've got a multi-wave oscillator, a truly unbalanced multi-wave oscillator. There are true Rife machines. There are true multi-wave oscillators. There are true technologies that are based on the principle of ether. and Slim Sperling with the 144 hertz frequencies. There is good in this world. You've got to just do a deeper dive. And like, I think most people we thought are for us are not actually for us. If you go onto a YouTube today and you can find loads of reasons why ivermectin's good for you, loads of reasons why methylene blue is good for you, loads of reasons why Shilajit's good for you. Like, everyone sells Shilajit now. I used to take it in 2008 to about 2012, and I was working specifically with a Shilajit one from Siberia. But because I was getting my Chaga from Siberia, and when I started to see David Avocado Wolf selling Shilajit from America, I was like, how does that work? Because the mythology and the story of it is based on the Himalayan fault lines. And I actually knew somebody that was making it the original way, based on the Ayurvedic wisdom of the mercurial medicine with salt and sulfur using dung kilns, like cow patty kilns. And it's a real alchemical process. And it's not just Shilajit. You get things like, what's it called now? Bismuth, which is actually in the original herbal dispensary, and things like serpentine and lapis for brain disease and rubies for hemorrhaging and stuff like that. And coral for bone. It's amazing. We really have come from amazing. So I really like to go back in time so I can fast forward into the future and think, well, how did we get here? We didn't get here with veganism. We got here with kind of like, hunter-gatherer, indigenous resistance, indigenous mindset, looking at where you live, looking at how great-granny got here, your great-grandfather got here, the things that you loved as a kid, the simplicity of things, and the little dog laughed to see such fun as the dish ran away with the spoon. We got here with great simplicity, like roses in honey and sandalwood and frankincense and patchouli for the lymph and frankincense for the brain and oregano and thyme and rosemary and southernwood and building soil fertility and tilling the land and hard work. And the technology, and the physician was a physician, and the chiropractor was a chiropractor. They were great human beings, right? They wanted the great for you, like a great vet, a great physician, a great chiropractor, a great bus driver, a great engineer. People were you can imagine the gentlemen, the ladies, maybe like winding copper, or the gentleman blowing the glass, and maybe in the afternoon reading some Ulysses James Joyce. I kind of said that to a friend the other day. And I thought that's great, because we were in this great Western civilization of truth and all that good stuff. Anyway, I hope that helps. I've said this so many times. I know I don't talk about it too much now, but I've said it so many times. If that makes any sense to you, let me know. I often say you can lead the horse to water, but sometimes you have to shoot the horse. Now, the Holder Clark Zappers did work, but today we have to factor in the nano-synthetic biology and the pre-workings of the Neuralink that is being built inside your body right now as we speak. Catherine, I've said it so many times, haven't I? I've said it so many times. But I wanted to say it again because I'm going to post this up again because it seems like it's people still, like new people are coming into Zishi world, and they're talking to me about terahertz, and they're talking to me about zeolites, and they're telling me the reasons why it worked. And I don't doubt that these things don't work. Of course, they have to work, or they wouldn't be able to sell them and they wouldn't get the testimonials. But you need to know that there's a smoking gun and an elephant in the room. And it doesn't matter that you've taken it, stop taking it today if you take it. Yeah, and I'm telling you these things because it's going to, when you know somebody is speaking the truth, you will know, and the truth will set you free, and you'll be like, oh, wow. It's not judgment. You're like, you didn't know. Now you know, you can be like, wow. You know, he's the only person saying this, or there's only a handful of people talking about this. They're walking the other way. Maybe I should do my own research and see what it is that they know that has made them go no to ivermectin, no to zeolites, no to masterpiece, no to all the people that are pushing it out. Is Alex Jones and his Navy SEAL friends, are they all just stupid or complicit? I went the other day and sent his Navy SEAL guy all the data points, and this stupid woman was like, oh, that's ChatGPT, which she was so far from the truth. Now people will see the truth and just go, oh, that's ChatGPT. They might even go, I'm AI. And, you know, it's ridiculous. Like, you know, the amount, you know, it's crazy. You know, I'm not even afraid of the AI. I'm coming at this with a fantastic expectation, amazing revelation that I want to share with you and go, well, did you know that? And you're like, no, I didn't know that, Zeesh. How did you find that out? Oh, my mate Zach Power of the Pulse and his mate, who's this crazy herbalist Canadian, thought they had Lyme's disease, realised they didn't, had friends that died using fake Rife machines because the targeted individuals were seeing that the self-assembling nanobots were utilising those fake frequencies. How can a doctor or anybody out there diagnose you when they've been compartmentalised, so they're essentially are stupid unless, not all, unless they become a doctor and they go, right, I'm a great doctor. I've expanded my vision now with everything that I know as this particular doctor, but now I want to become a chiropractor. Now I want to become a homeopath. Now I want to research Tibetan medicine. Now I want to research Hopi shamanism. Now I want to research Barbara O'Neill. Now I'm going to go and research Dr. John Christopher. And I'm going to become all of them. Now I'm going to be an Anne Wigmore. I'm going to bring all of that in. I'm going to learn holistic health. I'm going to become a Czech practitioner. And before you know it, they are the greatest doctor that ever lived, aren't they? They didn't stop. You're not going to stop, are you? And they applied it on themselves. They're going to be a homeopath. They're going to look at every avenue. They're going to study nutrition. Well, I only did 4 hours in my 4 years of college course as a doctor. And then they're going to learn about the truth about cancer. And they're going to go, oh my God, I didn't know that, did I? They're not going to close the door because it wasn't taught to them in their controlled education. They're going to want to be the greatest vet. And they're going to do the same as the vet. They're going to, like, I've known people that go and see a vet instead of going to see a doctor. But I say, you're still going to see somebody, aren't you? Now, there's nothing wrong once in a while going for and asking for a little bit of help, because the help is hello, eternal, loving presence. It's strength to ask for help. That's a good thing. But essentially, my channel and group is about empowering you to not have to go anywhere. Unless you have to go out once in a while to... Like, I had to go out yesterday. I hadn't left the mountain for a month. I had to go out... I went out yesterday. I bought some nice cigars. I bought some nice cabbages that somebody grew, amazing cabbages. Alex, bring one of those cabbages.
Wait 1 minute.
Oh, Bez. I bought some amazing dumpling squashes because I just love squash at the moment. And I had a lovely dinner last night. It was so good. Been using like loads of different essential oils and different balms that I really like, you know, like from North American Herb and Spice Company. There's some great companies out there that are doing it the right way, but they're far and few between. They are far and few between. They're far and few between. I'm taking these at the moment. This is Turmeric Power Plus. Let me read the ingredients to you. Stay there, Bez. Like, look at that. I bought that yesterday. It was only like a couple of quid. It's amazing. So, of course, you've got to go out, you know, and do some things. I bought some kombucha. I bought some olives. because they don't grow olives here. I bought some oranges, I bought some really nice grapes with seed, I bought a load of nice parsnips, and I pretty much, it was a really good day. And these, right, check what's in these. This is the clue. Organic extra virgin olive oil, CO2 extracted wild organic turmerones from turmeric, wild organic oregano oil, wild organic turmeric extract, wild organic ginger oleoresin, wild rosemary oil, and wild organic mycorrhizal oregano oil. That's it. There's nothing else in there. And it comes in a little capsule, 2 of these little bad boys like that. Boom. Yeah, analog and acoustic every time, Catherine. Just pop them. You can even swallow the caps because they're made of either gelatin or fish, but I don't bother doing that. And then, oh, and I bought some water. I bought about 20 of these bad boys. Because my wife, this is her favourite drink, Vichy Catalan water. They're so good. And it's so simple, and they're effective, and they work. They work. There's no trickery. There's no trickery. There's no psyop. Like I said, if you can't explain it to your grandmother, if you can't explain it to Granny 7 years ago, 7 generations ago, if you can't explain it to a child, don't put it in your body. I don't know why they're geoengineering, but I have a good idea. I don't know why they're putting smart meters in our house, and I don't know why they unleashed gene editing software on human beings. It's quite frankly deplorable. And I don't know why they're sending down satellites and creating all these terrible wars. But this is the age that we're in, and we have to really galvanize and strategize and do the very best that we can to remain human and to have fun. I don't subscribe to Sabrina Wallace. I'm aware of her. I understand what she's talking about, but then I provide the solutions that you can equip yourself with. Because she's actually part of the problem, because she created it in the first place. She created it in the first place, but a lot of these, you know, unless they come out the other end and then show me where they're to, living their life like Nathan Reynolds, then I've got a little bit more time for them, because they seem more solution-based rather than spreading fear and locking us into this quantum AI, you know, doom and gloom mindset, which I don't think it is all doom and gloom. You know, anyway, enough said from Brother Zish. Hope you got some value from this. If anybody wants a machine, I've got Tesla machines available. I'm shipping them globally. If you see a machine, it's really important that you go, oh, I want that machine, and then just message me. I'm not going to, because if I write to you in message and I go, hi, you know, people might think I'm just read my pinned post. Read the pinned post on my Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, you've got to follow the links on my About Me, and it will lead you to my Facebook or my Instagram, and then you can go to my Facebook and read the pinned post. If you don't have a Facebook, find me on Instagram or click the link to my Telegram. But if you don't, you've got to be proactive, because I'm not psychic and I'm not going to know that you want a machine. I'm telling you now that if you want a machine, I have machines. And they are for sale. And you can buy them and I'll ship them to you globally. Catherine knows this. She's bought a few machines off me and some other different bits and bobs. So she can validate in the comments that I've actually sold her a machine. She knows that I'm real. My pinned post is of real human beings like Parker Edmondson, Dr. Parkenstein, doing a video of how I sent him a machine. There's lovely Tina there, opening up her Anapol. There's Neil sharing with you how he's bought 17 machines. You know, So I'm not a shop. I don't have a website. So if you want a machine, you have to go, Zish, I want a machine. But you've got to take the intuition, because my channel's not a savior. I'm not going to save you. And a lot of people say they want a machine. And if you ask me how much usually on a machine, it means that you can't afford the machine right now. So when you just go to me, that's the machine I want, because you'll do the same. If you need a fridge, freezer, if you need a car, you just go and buy the car. You don't say, how much is it? You just think, that's the car I want, I need it and I want it. That's what most people do anyway. That's the plasma TV screen I want. That's the greenhouse I want. That's the rebounder I want. Like the other day I was like, I want, what's the rebounder called? I want a Bellicon rebounder. And I went and bought myself, I didn't go, how much is it? I just bought the Bellicon rebounder. When I wanted a Green Star juicer, I didn't say how much is it. I just went and bought it. When I wanted a blender to blend when I wanted the washing machine, I was like, I want that washing machine. My mate worked at Dyson washing machines. I was like, I want that washing machine. I wish I'd bought 10 of them. Could have opened a laundrette. They were amazing washing machines. Yeah, so if you're going to come to me and go, how much, you probably are not ready to buy a machine. You just need to say, I want that machine. Give it to me. Believe it or not, people do come to me and go, I want that machine. Of course they do. Of course they do. I did. Recently, a lovely gentleman and his wife drove all the way down from Blackpool to buy their machine. We sat down, they bought me a kombucha, I did a Q&A, and it was a wonderful transaction of Hermano. Yeah, so there we go. I hope that helped. See? The reason I'm saying this is because on YouTube, I don't know what's wrong with some people. I had this one person go, what, so you don't want to sell me a machine? I posted my Facebook account, I posted my email, I did everything possible for them to contact me. And just like, and they weren't even them, they were using their wife's YouTube channel. They were behaving like some sort of strange ghost. So I have machines, and yes, I love what I have bought. Delivered to Spain. They work. Yeah, they do work, don't they, Catherine? They're really, but they also align with everything that I'm saying. So if you live in Spain, you have access to wonderful olives, the most amazing pomegranates, the most amazing, like figs, you know, lovely. Lots of good things come out of Spain. Amazing mountain water. Some of the things there are a bit challenging. Like, it's quite challenging. I used to have to drive an hour just to get, like, well, the markets were good, but actually some of the things, I think more in Spain, it's important that you know a good farmer, because once you know a good farmer, a Spanish Andalusian farmer in Spain, they'll usually open up doors to their whole family. So they'll bring you fresh, unpasteurized goat's cheese, but they're kind of more inclined to want to like teach your wife how to make it. And you'll hang out with the shepherds, and they'll give you the best, like, you know, because it's quite a ham culture, but it's also goat and sheep. So they'll encourage you to kind of like have it from their families. You need to really be in with a family in those more family orientated cultures. Anyway, on that note, this was Brother Zish sharing with you why no to ivermectin, no to zeolites, no to silica, no to diatomaceous earth, no to alkaline, no to fulvic and humic minerals, no to nano products, nano-engineered products, C60 and methylene blue. And then add in your digital fake technologies like your fake EE system, fake Rife machine, terrible terahertz, there we go, terrible terahertz, all the related wearables. You can add your iPods, your iPhones, all those sorts of things. What else? Holder Clark zappers, TENS machines, PEMF with terahertz, smoking gun. If it's not broken, why fix it? Keep with the OG technology that talks about ether and analog. Doesn't judge you. No diagnosis. sweeps through, the Bedinis, the Eric Dollards, the Vril Science, you know, the analog technology like I've got here that I sell and ship globally, all over the world. The only place I haven't shipped to right now is Antarctica. I haven't yet shipped to Africa, but I'm sure it's incoming. And on that note, make it a great day. From my heart to yours, who cares wins. Zeesh. Have a great day. Bye. And if you're in America, have a nice day.